We are talking TMJ pain or temporomandibular joint, blah, 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 for I've got a sore freaking jaw. It hurts when I move it, or I'm clenching all the time and I've got pain in my jaw. We can fix this. We're going to use the acronyms TMJ to remind you of the exercises that I want you to do daily if you've got a tight jaw. T for tongue, M for mobility of certain areas, not just the jaw, and J for junk. We have to work these three things. Let's talk through them. Your tongue is incredibly important to the function of your jaw. Now, every time I talk, you can see how my tongue moves up and down and around the places to create the movement patterns, to create the sounds. So your tongue needs to be strong. It needs to know what it's doing. If your tongue is lazy, you're more likely to have a little bit of a tight jaw. Now, your tongue should always rest on the roof of your mouth. So when you swallow, see how it kind of goes up the top? That's actually where it should rest when you're breathing. So if you're not resting your tongue there and it's kind of floppy down onto the base of your mouth here, then you're more likely to actually have tightness in the jaw. So just be aware throughout the day of how you breathe. Obviously, mouth breathing is going to make the tongue drop lower. Nose breathing, your tongue is going to flip up to the top. So we want more nose breathing than mouth breathing because that's going to help relax the jaw as well. But one exercise you can do to make your tongue super strong, we all want a strong tongue, is, it's hard to explain, but I'm going to try to show you. We're going to draw a circle with the tongue on the outside of the teeth, like this. But we're going to do it with our mouth closed. We're going to do 10 circles one way and 10 circles the other way in as far of a reach as you possibly can go. So I'm going to shut up for a minute and show you. You're lucky we're friends. That's all I'm going to say. This is weird shit. I keep going as I talk more about the tongue. Now, your tongue holds an incredible amount of real estate in your brain. Okay, the homunculus, Google the homunculus and you'll see how much space the tongue holds in the body. So you can use the tongue to change the input, change the patterns in your brain to get a better output, meaning less tension and tightness in not only the jaw, but other areas of the body. I mean, next time you have back pain or knee pain or something, try and do these circles and see if it helps it and fixes it. You'll be so surprised that moving this thing will fix this thing. That's number one, which is your tongue. Number two, M, is mobilization. We need to mobilize or have mobility in our jaw. Our brain holds certain maps and files of our jaw movement patterns. If it doesn't have a good map of how your jaw moves, because it moves in a lot of different ways, then it's safer for that jaw to just go and clench down. Okay, especially if that tongue is low, it's just going to clench down. We also need to mobilize two other areas in the body because they wire and fire together closely in the brain and are connected very closely to the jaw. One is your SI joint. So that is the lower back. So if your lower back is tight and stiff, you're actually more likely to have a tense jaw as well. And your feet. If your feet are tight, immobile, and stiff, your jaw's going to feel the same. Because every time you take a step, the transfer of load from your foot hitting the ground travels up your leg. It crosses here. Boom. It crosses there at the SI joint. So it comes from my foot, it travels up my leg, it crosses here, it goes up this side of my body, down my arm and into this jaw. Same as the other side. So I'm constantly crossing the load here, which means this needs to be mobile. My feet need to be mobile and flexible and strong. And then it will release the tension in my jaw because every step I take is not going to pound my jaw tight and close. It also has a lot to do with balance. If your balance is off, if your vestibular is off, you're going to have more of a tension and tightness in the jaw as well. So mobilizing the jaw, mobilizing your lower back, mobilizing your feet and working on your balance is going to help this. But let's work through some jaw mobility, which we're also going to couple with lymphatic junk. If you've got junk in your lymph nodes that sit around these areas, because this is a very important area for lymphatic drainage, then you're going to notice more tension and tightness in the jaw as well. Now, your entire lymphatic system drains just here in your clavicles back into your circulatory system. So we're going to do a few of these together and clean out the bins, the junk but also mobilize as well. Now, what I want you to do is when you clench, I want you to place your thumb in that muscle right there, because you've got a big lymph that sits there. The other one, when you open and close the jaw, right kind of in that tragus right there, can you feel that lump? So I want you to go there, and I want you to go on the jaw, and I want you to massage that, okay, as well as here under the clavicle. So I'm on the left side at the moment. Now we're going to do some mobilizing of the jaw, just holding these pressure points here. So we're going to go up and down. You'll notice I'm just sliding my hand along that clavicle. Ooh, this will feel sore for some people with tight jaws. We're going to go side to side. And you're going to turn that into a circle, like a cow chewing. Now you can change to just behind the back of the ear as well and bring that other finger up to that spot you were at before. Change the circle. I can see people going, holy crap, I have to coordinate my movement and my rub at the same time. This is impossible. You can tap it out. You don't have to do that all at the same time. I'm just getting this in for the video. You can work on your mobility on its own. And then after mobilizing, you can get through all of these regions here just by rubbing and tapping and moving all this lymph that sits through here. If there's any sore bits and pieces that sit up through here, you know it's a blocked lymph, which means if you've got a blocked lymph, you're not going to get enough blood flow, and it's going to irritate the nerves, and it's going to cause more pain in these regions. So we've got to flow in order for us to mobilize as well, because the mobility has fluid in your joint structures, which is your synovial fluid. Fluid needs flow, okay? The other one, let's try the other side. So tragus nerve, tragus, which is that kind of little funny thing here. And where you clench, and then the other side. Try and do some circles. Other side. Give this all a massage. Once again, I'll repeat it, you don't have to do it all together. You can do your lymph first, massage it out, and then concentrate on your mobility. Let's do some other mobility ones. Out and in. Side to side. And turn that into a circle. And reverse. Now those people with TMJ are going to have far less range of motion than I do, because you won't have the mapping system in your brain of how your jaw actually functions and moves in all those different ranges of motion. So practice is key, and I mean every day. You want to be exercising your tongue, mobilizing your jaw, your lower back and your feet, and moving your junk. Rubbing here, especially these. There's more lymphatic spots, but if you are struggling here, at least just try these first. So under the clavicle, above the clavicle, and through here, from basically the temple down, under, behind the ear, and through the jaw. All through here should be flowing well. If you do those three things, your tongue exercises, your mobility, and your junk removal, you may notice a massive difference in that tightness and tension of your TMJ. Give it a try. You've got nothing to lose other than looking like a weirdo, but hey, that's me every day doing brain-changing movement exercises, but they work. So try it for yourself. Let me know how you go, and I look forward to you having a beautifully flexible, happy jaw.